And hello everybody, welcome back to the video. Today we are back inside of Minecraft and we are playing 196 level parkour. I just noticed a weird chest over here. I'm going to be taking these. Chest potions, take one or not. Anyway, yeah, back on track. This is 196 level parkour, so I take it there's probably going to be about 196 levels. I don't think they'll be too difficult. It's kind of embarrassing that I fell on the first one. But yeah, I expect this to be a fairly easy parkour map, at least through the first bit. It's obviously going to be a bit longer, considering how many levels there are. So I don't know if we'll play through the entirety of it, or just some of it, or whatnot. But yeah, it looked fun, and you know, it's a new parkour map, so I'm going for it. Also, I'm still the Pink Power Ranger for now. I finally got around to switching my skin back. It's just I would have had to have restarted the game for it to actually update, and I was feeling lazy, so I did not actually bother. As you know, lazy as that sounds, because it is pretty lazy. Oh, I was supposed to jump there first. I'm a little rusty on parkour. If you guys can't tell. So there's gonna be some of just like dumb falls that probably shouldn't be happening, but I'll get back into the rhythm of things. Hopefully, part way through, around when things start spiking up in difficulty. I am falling a lot now, though. Feels weird, actually, recording parkour. Like, I've done so much streaming stuff lately that it's like, recording just feels, I don't know, kind of weird. Because, like, I'm sitting in front of my computer, talking to my microphone, blah, 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 and I'm just used to that being on streams now. But, I don't know. Another thing I've actually been considering, I am curious to see what you guys think. Comment down below. I've been considering doing a face cam for videos. Like, early on in my YouTube career, I always said that I'd do a face cam once I hit, once I was comfortable showing my face on camera, that I'd, you know, do a face cam. That was always kind of my idea. I don't know how much I said it on camera that I would do that, like, you know, actually in videos. But that's at least what I always thought of as kind of like the point that I'd do a face cam. And then, you know, I started streaming. I do a face cam on stream, and you know, I just kind of haven't switched over, which, you know, I don't know. I think it's just a matter of I've been doing recording so long as is that turning on a face cam for recording just feels off and weird. And I guess with streams, there's always kind of that sense of like, well, the stream's gonna, you know, be gone after 2 weeks. So, you know, if something weird happens that, you know, isn't very obvious on camera, like if I make a weird face or whatever, after 2 weeks, the stream will be gone and nobody's likely to clip it. So it's not as big of a deal, I guess, is always kind of the feel for streams. It's like it's kind of a bit more relaxed feel in that sense, which makes it more comfortable to have a camera on, even though that's not really the case. But it does kind of give off that feel. So I don't know. I think what I'll do is I'll probably turn on a face cam for a recording or two, and then take a look at viewer retention and see how it compares. Like, just do it on some parkour videos and compare it to general viewer retention on videos where I don't have a face cam on, and see, like, do people like the face cam on? Are people watching shorter? Because I also know that a lot of people that have opinions on this sort of stuff don't frequently leave comments. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of people for stuff like this, like these sort of videos, that will watch the videos but don't leave comments. And then there's also a lot of people that, you know, don't watch much of the video but do leave comments, and it's kind of like a balance, you know. But even though you would think that it would typically always be the ones leaving comments that would watch more, and, you know, those that don't comment that typically watch less, I don't find that that's always true. But Like there's been times that I'll mention something in one of my videos, like late into a video, and then at some point I'll be talking to a friend or even just an acquaintance sometimes, and they'll mention something from one of my parkour videos that's like half an hour into the video, and I'm always kind of like, wait, you you not only watch my content, but you watch that far in? I'm touched. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Uh, oh, I think I bumped into that invisible. What? How could I have bumped into that invisible lock? Nah, never mind. I must be going crazy. Felt like my character got bumped a little bit. Start to kind of, I think, get a sixth sense for some of that stuff, where it's like, you start to notice every movement on screen more so the more you play games. I also find now that like it's hard for me to play games that like aren't built super well for quick turns. Like games that like have motion blur built in that you can't turn off or whatnot, or just games that like in general, because of the way the meshes look, it looks really weird when you turn fast and stuff like that. I struggle to play games like that now, because even when I'm playing like I was playing 7 Days to Die on stream with some friends, and like I forgot to turn off motion blur at first, and I was like doing 180-degree flicks and like 90-degree flicks and stuff, and I was like, it's starting to give me a bit of a headache. Why am I starting to get a headache from playing? Oh, I left motion blur on. No stinking wonder. So then I turned it off and it was a lot better. I just in general find that motion blur is a bad idea for games. Like I kind of get the idea behind motion blur, but it just doesn't work. And it looks bad, and I don't know. Like, it works for, I feel like, console games. Where, like, if you're turning the fastest speed that you can, then there'll be a bit of blurring around the edges to really give the feel that you're turning fast. But even just in general, motion blur is something that, like, it's something that, depending on your eyesight, happens from turning fast or whatnot for some people, but because it takes a second for your eyes to take in whatever, and there's a bit of like the color left over from your eyes and whatnot. I don't know the science behind it, but like there's a little bit of motion blur IRL, but it's not much, and I find that most of the time in games it's taken way overboard and just looks really bad and messes everything. And part of it is that game developers don't build games with the intention of people flicking 180 degrees really fast and quick 90-degree cuts and stuff like that. It just isn't something that most game developers take into consideration, because most game developers take into consideration the more casual gaming audience, because it's a much larger audience than people that take gaming really seriously. And that's something that honestly I forget a lot of times when judging how much I like games and stuff, is that the casual audience of gamers does outnumber the more serious audience of gamers. But as somebody that's a part of streaming communities and esports communities, it's like between the two, it's a lot of people that tend to take gaming a lot more seriously. And in streaming communities, you get people that take gaming, pretty lightly. But it's definitely the minority of streamers from my experience. Mostly because people, when they're watching gaming videos and stuff, they like to watch somebody that's good at the game most of the time. And people that don't take gaming very seriously struggle more to improve at games in general. From just from basic logic. Like, yeah, if you don't take games seriously, you're not going to improve at them. And, like, everybody's had that experience, like, where they're playing a board game or whatever, and one person takes it really seriously. And maybe the first time they don't do super great, but they do take it seriously. And then, like, if you play the game again, chances are by that time, whichever person you played with before is likely improving at a much faster rate than the other people that you play with. And, like, it can cause some difficulties for some groups. Like, if you play a game like Valorant or whatever, and you have somebody that takes the game really seriously in the group that gets a lot better, and then somebody that doesn't really improve at all and doesn't take the game seriously at all, along with some people that kind of medium. So, like, 3 people medium, one takes it really seriously, and one person doesn't take it seriously at all. Oh, that's toxic. Between all that, you can expect that at some point, as time goes on, the skill gap, especially between the one that doesn't take it seriously and the one that does, will grow exponentially larger. And eventually it'll hit a point where it's hard for your stack to queue together because of, differing skill levels and stuff like that. Like, if your stack plays ranked. If they don't play ranked, then it's not really a problem if one person's a lot better than the other for casual, especially if you're just playing that fun in your group. It's just kind of not a big deal for one person to be way better than somebody else. Oh, that's just a random hole off the side. Oh, there's invisible blocks below. Just wanted to change the scenery, I guess. But yeah. At least that's what I've noticed. What level are we on? 45. We're making pretty good time. It's only been 12 minutes. I mean, I might be able to finish this in about an hour-ish, which, works out. I know it's a bit of a longer video, but that's fine. I'm not super worried about it. I mean, it's at the point with content creation where it's like, I would like it to work out and for me to, hit the point where YouTube will monetize me and, do really well and be able to, maybe even make a career out of it and whatnot. Or at the very least, make some money that can be used for paying towards college or savings for after college or whatnot. But, like, at the end of the day, I do and always have done this mostly for the sake of doing it because I enjoy it, right? And I enjoy, making content that I hope people enjoy. And, like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like to some degree I've accepted that there's a chance, possibly a really good chance, that I'll never, get much more popular than I am now on YouTube. And I feel like I've hit a point where it's like, I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I don't think I need to hit a point of popularity to be satisfied with my journey on YouTube. I think it's more of hitting a point like, being able to look back at my content and, the comments and stuff like that and kind of be happy with that. And I think that's actually one interesting point of difference between, like, Twitch and YouTube as platforms. I feel like it's easier to do that on YouTube than it is on Twitch. Like, Twitch is the sort of platform that it's like, streams are kind of awkward if you don't have anybody in the comment section, right? So, like, you kind of have to grow enough that you can get a decent chunk of people in the comment section to make streaming feel not awkward on a platform like Twitch. But at the same time, like, it's hard to grow that audience if you aren't serious about growing on Twitch. Whereas on YouTube, it's much easier to, like, form a small community, not necessary without, you know, necessarily doing it in a way where you have to be serious about wanting a large community or whatever. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's been my experience. Like on Twitch, like I finally gotten to a point where I have a decent chunk of people that'll come in and, you know, chat throughout the stream and stuff like that, and some people that'll stick around for long periods of time, and it definitely makes the stream feel more alive. But like, you know, even now, it's not rare for there to be a period of like, you know, an hour or two where just nobody comments anything throughout the entire duration or whatever. And like, I don't know, there's something about that kind of time frame that's like, especially if you're streaming by yourself, it can be really weird to just not have anybody present in chat for a long duration of time. If you're streaming with other people, it's typically, you know, not as bad. But back to kind of what I was saying about the, like, you know, you have to be serious. If you're not very serious about growing on a platform like Twitch, you're probably not going to know many people that stream for hours on end that you can stream with. I don't know. Like, it's really interesting to me how much, like, YouTube and Twitch gets lumped together, even though they're completely different platforms. And not just different platforms, but like at a fundamental level, if the purposes of the platform differ very heavily. Like just in the fact that like, well, YouTube's more of like a, you know, kind of post anything sort of ordeal. Like a lot of people will utilize YouTube to share family videos with their families and friends and stuff like that, where it's like, you know, there can be a much more chill, not, you know, focused on building a community posts and stuff on YouTube, whereas Twitch is very oriented with, you know, the whole like, yeah, you know, if you're doing Twitch, you're probably taking it fairly seriously. But even when you get down a bit more to it and you compare YouTube and Twitch gaming, like, I don't know, there's something about just the difference between video posting and live streaming that will always be kind of remarkable to me in a way. Like, it doesn't feel like there should be all that much of a difference between making a YouTube video and streaming to something like Twitch. But, like, I think fundamentally, there's some of, like, I've talked about this before, which is the whole, like, you know, kind of relationship between a streamer and their viewer. And, you know, I mostly talked about it in a bit more of, like, a negative way with, like, you know, how you get it into the stan culture and stuff like that. But, I think there's also some degree of, like, it's really good for the Twitch streamer, I think, to, well, not necessarily good, but there's something, like, nice as a Twitch streamer about, you know, having viewers to spend time with you. I do think that, you know, I'm saying, you know, a lot here, going back to my old ways. I do think that there's something to be said for possible, like, mental side effects for the creator, even, of the fact that you get a lot of viewers, and, like, it can definitely go to someone's head if they have a lot of viewers, or, like, a lot of viewers that will stick around for long periods of time to see them and stuff like that, because fame goes to people's heads very fast. And that's another reason why I'm glad that even if stuff works out for me on my YouTube channel and Twitch channel, I feel like I've had a long enough time of doing this that I'd be able to avoid letting it go to my head too much. And I feel like just in general, I'm a much more grounded person than I used to be. But I don't know. Twitch is the differences between Twitch and YouTube just fascinate me. I also feel like with YouTube videos, I have a bit more room to like talk about what I want to talk about, right? Like on Twitch, there's a bit more of a like these specific terms are banned and stuff like that. Like for example, the word simp is banned on Twitch, and they only enforce it as a it's banned in a if you use it in a derogatory way or whatever, which makes sense from a company decision because they make so much money off of people simping for Twitch streamers. So from a company standpoint, they're sitting there going, we don't want a huge culture built around insulting people that are our main source of income. But yeah, just the fact that there's like it feels more censored, I guess, in a way, where it's like, yeah, like there's specific terms that you're just not supposed to say. And on YouTube, there's a bit of like, like a lot of stuff will get demonetized if it talks about stuff that advertisers don't like. Like a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 videos get demonetized because it's World War II, and you're kind of if like you're playing Germany during World War II times, it's like not very, not the sort of thing a lot of advertisers like. So as a result, a lot of videos like that tend to get demonetized more often and stuff like that. I don't know if it's still as bad as it used to be for those videos specifically, but it feels a lot more like, yeah, we're very unlikely to demonetize your content, and the chances that we'll take down your videos are also pretty slim unless you're really breaking standards. And it just overall, it feels like they give more room to breathe for the creators than Twitch does, which I really appreciate. And I don't know, it just feels like when you're on Twitch, there's an atmosphere of like, yeah, if you bring up certain stuff, then you'll be, it wouldn't be shocking if you get kicked off the platform and stuff like that. But like, whereas on YouTube, there's a bit more of an air of like, yeah, you can talk about it, and we might not be able to monetize it, but unless you're talking about stuff that's a bit further away from mainstream, you're less likely to be kicked off than you are on a platform like Twitch. And I'm not saying that YouTube's some is great when it comes to stuff like this. I'm just saying they're more open than platforms like Twitch and stuff like that, which it's not surprising that a platform like Twitch that's run by Amazon would be more of the censorship type for stuff like this. And to be frank, I'd go in more detail about it, but like I like keeping my content fairly free of stuff like politics for multiple reasons. One of them just being the fact that I have very diverse fan base in the case of stuff like different countries and different cultures and stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff wouldn't work out just from the standpoint of politics are very different stuff. But I feel like part of it's that I'm a gaming channel, and how I always grew up was like the gaming channels don't really get big into that stuff, and they're more meant as entertainment that kind of lets you forget about your troubles for a while and stuff like that. And, you know, that's more of the content I like to make. But I also like it from the standpoint of, you know, I feel like it really gives me a break from, you know, worrying about anything going on in the world or, you know, whatever while I'm making the content in and of itself too. Because because I don't talk about it all that much, I don't have to stress about it. It gives me a chance to, you know, focus on my, you know, gaming and topics like, you know, the differences between Amazon, or not Amazon, YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like there might be someday that, you know, there'll be some sort of topic that I'd want to cover that would go beyond the scope of gaming and stuff like that. But I do think if I ever did, I'd want to make it a separate kind of de-associated channel that is more meant for that rather than gaming. I don't know. Like, I think I can talk pretty decently compared to what I used to. It's a bit harder for, like, parkour videos. Like, I say a lot of ums and likes and stuff like that just because I'm jumping on blocks for an hour and, you know, it's not really all that much to talk about in terms of that, and I wing it for the most part on what my topics are. When I'm doing videos that are more focused on a topic and my focus is less on the parkour and more on the topic, I find that I stutter a lot less and say a lot of ums and likes and stuff like that. And, you know, it's just, to me, it makes a lot of sense that it's difficult to commentate over parkour. It's just not the sort of thing which is great for commentating over. And, you know, it's like, I've talked about this in the past a little bit. But what, like, if I'm talking specifically about the game most of the time, it's going to be like, oh, I jumped from one block to another. Oh, there's a 1 over 1 up, you know, to the side. Oh, there's, you know, these are nice stone bricks, and we're jumping here, 2 over 1 up. There's a diagonal jump, straight over, down a little bit, you know, okay, gotta cross the gap into the hole, and, you know, it just gets a bit old. And I do think that I'd actually parkour better if I commentated more like that, just because I'd be more focused on it, and my attention would be less split. But I don't think it would make very interesting content. And I think that kind of talking over it gives people the option of, like, okay, you know, now if you are really interested in the parkour map, you can skip around the video and find, you know, whatever spot you were stuck on and needed to figure out where to go or whatnot. Or in the case of, like, brain process. Or if you're interested in my content, then, you know, you can listen to what I have to say and kind of relax for, you know, a couple minutes and watch a video or whatnot. And I think it gives a good balance of, you know, providing for both of those purposes at once. I don't know. I would actually be really interested to hear from people that enjoy my content. And my parkour videos have been doing pretty well lately in terms of viewership and stuff like that. So I know that there's definitely some people that enjoy my content because there's a lot of recurring viewers that come back for more, according to YouTube analytics at least. So I would be very curious to hear what you guys enjoy about my content. Because to be frank, like, if I'm being as frank as possible, like, I don't think that my content would be the sort of content that I'd enjoy to watch. Which makes it interesting to me that you guys enjoyed, and I really enjoyed making it, but I don't think it'd be the sort of thing that I'd watch a lot. And like, I can say that especially like Captain Sparkles makes a lot of parkour type videos and stuff like that from what I've seen, but like, he's not really the sort of content that I super enjoy watching. So I would be very curious to hear from you guys, what it is that you enjoy, so in that way also I can focus more on that and kind of refine my content a bit. I know if Blazer's watching, he'll comment some tips or not, or what he thinks at the very least. Which actually, speaking of that, since I'm on the thought, Blazer has dropped a new music album with some new songs and stuff like that on Spotify. I think he reposted some of the old ones to Spotify, not many, but a couple of the ones that he really liked. But yeah, go check it out. I think for now the new songs are just on Spotify, not on his music channel. And yeah, it's the same as his YouTube username, which is just your boy Blazer with an I instead of a Y in boy, and your spelled UR. So if you use Spotify, go check out his music. It's good stuff. He's gotten really good at it. He's come a long way, and just go check him out. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like with the deal on like, commentary on parkour videos, I feel like I do pretty good as far as that goes. I was mentioning Captain Sparkles. Maybe I should go look at some of his content to just kind of see what it is exactly that he does for commentary throughout his parkour videos. And they're actually edited and stuff, unlike mine, I believe. So that's probably a big step. He does do a face cam though, so maybe I should at the very least try it. I don't know. As I said, let me know what you guys think. But I do think, regardless, I'm going to try and do a video or two and compare viewer retention. Because one thing is, I know I'm not the best looking person around. So, like, if viewer retention drops with the face cam, I'll probably drop the face cam. Probably. That's what I'm thinking, at least. At least give it a shot. Try something new. I've been making content for a long time recently without trying anything new. It's been like 4 months or whatever. Also want to, I've talked about this with my friends, but I want to try to like post some of my Twitch clips as YouTube shorts. Like just, they'd probably be mostly unedited, just kind of like, just the flat out shorts of the clips that people enjoy on my Twitch channel, and the ones that I like, I can turn into shorts that can go up. And yeah, I think it would be a good way for me to get another source of content out there, and also Twitch, or not Twitch, YouTube Shorts algorithm is definitely easier to get recommended on, which I've talked about this before too. It makes sense that it's easier to get into the YouTube Shorts algorithm than YouTube's actual algorithm, and I've talked kind of like, I guess, condescendingly about the YouTube Shorts algorithm before. So I do want to make it clear that I definitely understand that it makes sense that it would be easier to get into. I guess not condescendingly, but just like in a, like it's the algorithm seems broken and stuff like that for YouTube Shorts. But I think that's just because I'm so used to the YouTube and Twitch algorithms where it's really hard to get recommended. So like anything that's super easy to get recommended on feels broken in a way. But the thing about Twitch, or not Twitch, Shorts, and this, it's the same reason why some people like have said good things about the TikTok algorithm. I think is because it's really easy to get recommended on it because there's so many viewers in comparison to like YouTube videos. And what I mean by that, like more people watch YouTube than watch YouTube Shorts, but there's still more viewership to be had on YouTube Shorts for the simple reason of you can watch like 10 shorts in, just a couple minutes, whereas you can watch one YouTube video in like 10 minutes, because I think the around average length of an actual YouTube video that is like 10 minutes or whatever. This jump's annoying. But yeah, like, I don't know. I from that standpoint, it makes sense that you'd get so much more viewership on shorts just because there's more viewership to go around. Even if there's less viewers total, there's more viewership to go around and be had. So I think to some degree, like, my kind of like, oh, YouTube Shorts algorithm's broken sort of thing isn't accurate. It's more that it just is a lot easier to get into. At least that's my opinion. But, yeah, anyway, guys. I do think that this has been a decent showing of this map. I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's really much point in going too much further, if I'm just being honest. Like, it seems like there's not really that much more to this map. I did end up drinking the jump boost potion for the last level. That's because I was having trouble with the spot where if you take the closest angle, you hit your head on the block above. If you take a further angle, it's really difficult to make the jump, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, like, this seems to be, like, kind of just being a repetition of the exact same thing, which I get to some degree is what parkour is, right? But we're 129 levels in. There's, like, another 40 or 50 levels or whatnot. Actually, more like 60 or 70. Whatever. It's not important. Yeah, and it just doesn't seem like it's likely that it's going to be any different than what it is now, since what the parkour has been hasn't changed since level 1. I don't know. My opinion on this map, honestly, like, one of my less favorite maps I've played recently. It feels a bit more dull than the other 100 levels sort of maps I've done. I feel like that's in part because the other levels would have been over by now with other maps. And I don't think it's necessarily much of a fault of the map creator as much as a fault of this whole trend in general with the whole 100 level parkour, where it is just a really repetitive like idea in the first place, because you're just kind of doing the same tiny bit of parkour level after level after level. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't help anything that it is the exact same parkour level after level after level, and there wasn't really, it seems, all that much of an attempt made to like spruce up the kind of parkour as you go along to make it feel more unique. It feels kind of like they were just like, yeah, you know what, let's slap a basic template of a level together and then make it slightly different for the next level, but still basically the exact same thing, and just go with that for 198 levels or whatever it was. So, like, as per usual, thank you to the map creator for making the map. Appreciate the time and effort that went into this. As far as maps go, I feel like the quality of parkour maps has been increasing generally lately, and a lot of the recently released maps have been a really high level. So I guess I would recommend, if you're looking for a parkour map to play one of those instead. What if you played through a lot of the other ones? You know, go ahead and give it a shot or whatnot. But yeah, guys. I think this is it for this. I don't know. It feels kind of wrong ending it off early without completing the map, especially since I'm like 3/4 of the way through, and I made it through so many more levels while, you know, trying to say that I don't really like the map without being mean. Like, I always feel bad saying bad things about a map, because whenever it feels like whenever I've said bad things about a map, like then the creator always comments, and I always feel self-conscious about, oh, I probably shouldn't have been quite as harsh while I was critiquing the map. But yeah, I don't know, just not really my favorite map I've played recently. But anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I guess I will see you all in the next one. God bless. Bye bye.